Today, we are going to study phrasal verbs. I'll explain that in just a moment. What's up, everyone? My name is Wes. This is Interactive English, which is all about trying to help you guys practice and improve your English skills. In today's lesson, we are going to talk about phrasal verbs, but phrasal verbs that are related to study. So that's what I meant when I said we are going to study phrasal verbs. So the first phrasal verb that I have for you is think through. And this just means to carefully consider the possible outcomes of some situation. And you might say, I just need to think it through. You need to think something through and really consider it before you make a decision.
I just want you to think it through.
Still thinking things through.
What is there to think through?
Just try and think things through.
Let's think this thing through logically.
I don't want to decide just yet. I really want to consider things. You want to think it through. It's always good to think things through before you make a decision. The next phrasal verb is pick up. And you can pick up something or you can pick something up. And it just means to learn something. And often I think we use it when we're talking about a language or a musical instrument or even an activity. So for example, I would say that I am trying to pick up Romanian right now. I am trying to learn Romanian. And many of you are trying to pick English up, which is why you're here.
You can't just walk up to those guys. You have to get out there and learn the moves, get into their head, pick up the speech.
Picked up English faster than I could teach it.
I got bored. I thought I'd pick up a new language.
We'll be back. I've never seen anyone pick it up that quickly.
Do you have a special tool for these?
If it has to do with my hands, I usually pick it up really quickly.
The next phrasal verb is a pretty common one, and that is cheat on. You cheat on something, and this just means to act deceptively or unfairly when you are completing a task. So you can cheat on a quiz, you could cheat on a test, or cheat on an exam. I don't recommend that you cheat on anything at school, but it does happen from time to time to cheat on something.
Were you cheating on your conversion test?
When I was a kid, I always played by the rules. I never cheated on a test.
I regret to announce that someone in this class cheated on yesterday's exam.
Then we have a three-word phrasal verb, read up on. And when you read up on something, then you are increasing your knowledge about a topic by reading about it. So you might read up on history if you want to learn more about that. You might read up on a person if you are trying to find out more information about them. You would read up on something.
I read up on my history. Thanks for the tip.
This will all be on next week's midterm, so I suggest you read up on it.
I've been reading up on your family's culture.
I've been reading up on this whole Iraq war situation.
Then we have go through, and this is a great study phrasal verb because when you go through something, it just means that you are scrutinizing it. You are looking at it very carefully. So you might go through a paper or you might go through a report that you wrote and you're looking for mistakes. So when you go through something, you are looking at it carefully. I always hope that you guys go through the comments and read them because it's another great way to practice English and practice your reading skills and as well as learn more about each other.
I could go through the Panama Papers.
We have to go through those documents.
I took the liberty of going through your address book.
We still have the books of Farian to go through.
Then we have two phrasal verbs that actually have the same meaning. And those phrasal verbs are hand in or turn in. So when you hand in something or you turn in something, it just means that you submit something. You give it to the teacher. You hand in your homework. You turn in the paper. You hand in the essay. You turn in your presentation. So when you hand in or turn in something, you are just giving it to either your teacher or professor.
Do you realize what would happen if I hand in my homework in your handwriting?
Anyone failing to turn in any homework assignment will be penalized 1 point off their final grade.
Hey, I want to email you my paper before I hand it in.
It's the first paper she's had to turn in. She's bound to falter a little.
The next study phrasal verb is fall behind. And this is a good one. Even though it's not a good thing. You don't want to fall behind because when you fall behind, it means that you are not current or up to date with some information or even some task. And you're really lacking in comparison to the other students. So When you fall behind, it's not a good thing, but sometimes it happens and you might say, yeah, I just fell behind, or I've fallen behind.
Boys are falling behind in every subject.
You need to make school more challenging, or else my son will fall behind.
We're falling way behind. You haven't exactly been helping.
Is there any company that doesn't have a product in production?
And I hope that you guys have not fallen behind and that you understand every one of these phrasal verbs. But if you have fallen a little behind, that's okay, because then you can just go through the lesson again and again and again until you have picked up every single one of these phrasal verbs. And I'm just going to keep saying them and repeating them over and over because that's just another great way for you to remember them. The next phrasal verb is drop out. And when you drop out, that means that you leave an activity or a program without completing it. And often people use it and they talk about dropping out of school. When you drop out of school, you just leave and you don't complete it.
Everything else, I failed, dropped out of school.
So you're dropping out? No, I'm going to public school.
You dropped out of college?
I heard you dropped out of school. I went to university for a year as well before I dropped out, so I'm a quitter.
Don't drop out of school. I definitely don't recommend it. I think you should work hard and turn in everything that your teacher asks you to. At least that's what I would want from my students. I always want them to hand in their assignments. The next phrasal verb is hand out. And this is a common study phrasal verb because you hear it a lot in the classroom. To hand something out just means to distribute something. You are passing something to the other students in the class. So oftentimes teachers would hand out an assignment, or they would hand out a test, or they'd hand out a quiz, or most of the stuff that they hand out, it's not stuff that learners are excited to get. Nobody wants a quiz or a test, but we gotta do them. And as long as you read up on all the information, then you should be fine.
True. I've been handing out assignments and the kids turn them in and everything.
What kind of homework are they handing out in the first grade?
Why don't you hand out the schedules?
That means we have to hand out the preparedness packs.
The next study phrasal verb is catch on. And to catch on means that you understand what is meant or that you understand how to do something. So maybe somebody might have a difficult time catching on and they have trouble understanding some material.
And you're not going anywhere.
Of course not. I'm already there. You'll catch on.
But all our professionals have college degrees.
Catch on pretty quick.
You've got to wait until your contracts are up. I get it.
You catch on slow, you'll fit right in here.
I'm sure that you guys catch on quickly and you understood these phrasal verbs, but if you didn't catch on, that's okay. Just go through the lesson again and just think it through. Think through these phrasal verbs and try to understand them. Maybe you might want to read up on them so you have a better understanding. And hopefully the fact that I've been repeating all of these phrasal verbs helps you remember their meaning a little bit better. So now I have an assignment for you and I want you to turn it in. And the way that you're going to turn it in to me is by writing a comment. And all I want to know is something very simple. I just want to know if you caught on to this lesson. So if you understood all of these phrasal verbs, if you understood my explanation of these phrasal verbs, then in the comments write, I catch on quickly. That way I know you understood these phrasal verbs and maybe feel a little more confident the next time that you are studying with others or the next time you find yourself in a classroom. These phrasal verbs can be used in many different contexts. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this lesson, please hit that like button and I will see you next time.